Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back in today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, I'm going over the Week 11 running back start or sit decisions. I go through every single game from Thursday Night Football all the way to Monday Night Football. I talk about all the fantasy running backs and whether you should start or sit them. So before I get in the video, I'd like to give you guys a word from my good friends over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite way to play DFS on all of the interwebs. Now, Overlay DFS has a couple of games you can play, but my favorite is the progressive game type. Now, there are entry points at a lot of different levels. As you can see here, there's a $2.5 game, a $22 game, and a $109 game. Now, in these games, the entry, when you win and become in that top 10%, you get 9 times your buy-in. $2.5 turns into $18. $22 turns into $180, and $109 turns into $900. But the specialty comes in here. It's that progressive bonus, and that is $1,038 for the $2.5 game. For the $22 game, it's over $7,000, and for the $109 game, it's over $2,600. And last week, I saw someone hit that beautiful 12-0 to claim that progressive bonus. Now, how it works is very much simple here. All you got to do is you see a bunch of matchups on your screen. You got to make 12 picks plus 3 alternate picks. So right here, Lamar Jackson versus Deshaun Watson. Who do you think will score more fantasy points? They're playing against each other in real life, so I would go with Lamar Jackson. Now, there is also something that I really like to do here that I think is a secret bit of strategy that seems to work a lot for me. So you scroll down here, and you're going to pick a wide receiver to go with your quarterback. So if I wanted to go, if I really believed that it was Deshaun Watson, I would go Deshaun Watson and Mr. D on Dre Hopkins. But you could also go here and put another wide receiver with another quarterback. It is very much that easy, or match your quarterback with your tight end because you think they are both going to perform. So please make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. They have gotten rid of the way that you can only play just one entry. Now you can do up to 10 entries in these games. So make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. And we are back. Make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. But let's get right into this Week 11 running back start or sit decision. First game here is the Thursday night matchup between the Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Now, right now, it seems like James Conner is going to get the go-ahead to start and play tomorrow on Thursday. Now, if you're watching this on Thursday, I'm doing an updated start or sit before the game, so you know if James Conner is in or not. Obviously, if he's in, you are going to start him. I personally believe he is going to be in, and he has been feasting the last couple of games while he was healthy. 20-plus games in 3 weeks. He was eating, he was feasting, and this week against the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think James Conner goes in there and skull fucks the Browns, okay? He is on the Steelers. I don't know why I said he was against the Steelers. He's very much against the Browns. He's going to go in there in Cleveland and make the Cleveland Browns cry. I like James Conner this game. Now, Nick Chubb on the Browns. I like him as well. We saw Nick Chubb get fed the ball a bunch on the goal line last week against the Bills. And you know what happened. He could not wiggle his way in there because the offensive line and the play calling by Freddie Kitchens was so god-awful that he was not able to get in. They probably handed the ball to him at least 12 times in a row. He was not able to break free. But at the end of the day, I think given he would have scored a touchdown there, he would have had a big game. And this week against the Steelers, I think that the run defense is not as good as the pass defense. I think that Nick Chubb is able to have a good game this week. Now, when we sit down Jalen Samuels, now we saw when James Conner was out. If James Conner is out, I'm still not playing Jalen Samuels because Jalen Samuels just didn't do anything last week. He really did nothing. Like the week before, we saw he got like 3,000 targets. Last week, he did nothing. And Kareem Hunt, there's more of a curious case. It's the curious case of Kareem Hunt because you are going to want to start him. Your brain is going to be like, let me start Kareem Hunt. I saw him dominate and tear it up for the past 2 years when he was on the Kansas City Chiefs before he kicked that woman. But you might be thinking that it's going to be great to start Nick Chubb, but I am not going, not Nick Chubb, I mean Kareem Hunt. I am not going to put Kareem Hunt into a game until he emerges, and I believe will get more than 40% of the touches or more work on the offense. So right now, I'm sitting Kareem Hunt, but in a lot of situations, a lot of questions people are asking, Kareem Hunt may be the correct start. Next game here, we got the Jets at the Washington Redskins. Now, I'm going to be starting up Le'Veon Bell in this game. Pretty much, if Le'Veon Bell is healthy, if Le'Veon Bell gets the go-ahead, you throw him into your lineup. It is that simple. You know that he is that talent that could have a humongous game any given week. Against the Washington Redskins, he should be able to easily spread apart the ass cheeks of the Redskins and go to town. It should be very easy for Le'Veon Bell this week, given Adam Gase isn't a grade A idiot. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Darius Geis and AP because Darius Geis, it seems like he's going to get the go-ahead to play this week, and I think he hurts AP too much to start AP, and AP hurts him too much to start Darius Geis. So right now, I'm letting Darius Geis and AP ride the pine. Once Darius Geis is very injury prone, so he might die in this game. You know, he's never even played a full NFL game in 2 years, so he may just end up dying on the field. But if he somehow lives, he somehow survives, in a couple of weeks, I think you may be able to start him. But right now, I think they're going to ease him back in with just the tip of the offense, and then once they fully throw him in there, then I think you can start him. But right now, I'm letting him ride the pine in my fantasy games. Now, next game here, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I'm going to be starting Mr. Leonard Fournette in this game. You guys saw pretty much every single week. Obviously, last week they're on bye. They just feed Leonard Fournette like it is their job. Whether it's Foles, whether it's Minshew, it doesn't fucking matter. Doug Marrone says, hand that shit to Leonard Fournette like 20 times a game, and volume is king in fantasy football. I say this every single week about Leonard Fournette. He gets so many touches. He's one of those guys that is in the elite running back numbers for getting so many touches. He gets about 20 touches a game. Not many running backs do that. He gets 20 plus every single game, and as long as they keep feeding him, I will keep throwing him into my lineup. The amount of opportunity you get on 20 plus touches is immense. Now, Marlon Mack for the Colts, I also like him. If Jacoby Brissett is more healthy, I'm a lot more confident in that because they know that they're not just going to run the ball 1,000 times. I think that with T.Y. Hilton likely missing this game, that they're going to be much more of a run-heavy team. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett is actually playing. I don't know what I was talking about. Jacoby B is getting the go-ahead to play in this game, so I think that Marlon Mack will be able to have a much better game this week. Next game here, we got the Bills at the Miami Dolphins. Now, I'm going to be starting up Devin Singletary in this game. Now, Devin Singletary actually was a disappointment last week. I believed he would have been a lot better than he was, scored around 9 PPR points, but this week he has his redemption against the Miami Dolphins in Miami. The Miami Dolphins defense, or against the run and the pass, really is not all that good, and Devin Singletary is going to be able to take advantage of that. I really believe that the Dolphins, this is going to be a closer game, and I think Devin Singletary is going to get a lot of dump-off passes thrown his way, where he has potential to break away for a 40-plus yard run, reception, I guess. He's just that fast. I like Devin Singletary this week. I'm going to be sitting down Frank Gore in this game. I think that Devin Singletary has emerged past Frank Gore, that I would not be willing to wheel out that old man in his wheelchair to play in this game. Now, Kalen Ballage is clearly the starter on the Dolphins. It ain't Myles Gaskin, so you could start Kalen Ballage in some situations, but in most situations, I'm going to have him ride the pine against this Bills defense. Next game here, we got the Cowboys at the Detroit Lions. Now, I'm going to be starting up Ezekiel Elliott in this matchup. Obviously, Ezekiel Elliott is a must start every single week against this Lions defense. Should be no different. Now, Ezekiel Elliott, I honestly believe that the Cowboys need to just keep passing the ball because Dak looks so good. But obviously, they paid Ezekiel Elliott tons of money, so they're going to keep running the ball with him, and he is going to be able to have a good game this week against the Lions. I honestly don't think he's going to be top number 1 this week, or number 2, or number 3, but he's still going to be up there in the top 10 when the week comes to a close. Now, I'm also going to be starting Mr. J.D. McKissick, but he is the next to him, because if I'm being honest with you, I have no trust in it. He's been scoring 10 plus points in the last 2 games. He is clearly the number 1 running back on the Detroit Lions. Now, J.D. McKissick is not that great, but at the end of the day, if he is given the opportunity, which he has been given, you are going to have to start him as much more of a flex option, though. And I'm going to be sitting down Ty Johnson. Johnson is hurt. He's also fucking trash. Ty Johnson, I thought he'd be good. You know what? They're just not giving him the opportunity. And when they give him the opportunity, he's taking a shit straight in his Huggies. So you do not want anything to do with Ty Johnson. Next game here is the Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. So if you guys have enjoyed thus far, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. But let's get right back into this. Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I like to start Mark Ingram in this game. Mark Ingram is pretty much in every single week locked and loaded starter. We saw him perform last week. I think he's going to be able to perform this week against the Houston Texans run defense. For the Texans side of the ball, I will be starting Duke Johnson, but he has the next to his name because I don't necessarily love starting Duke Johnson. To me, he's much more of a dice roll. He's obviously the Texans' pass catching back, but with Carlos Hyde playing like such shit recently, I honestly like Duke Johnson a lot more, but I think that you are heavily relying on the dump off. He is much more of a dice roll, like I said, because he's either going to score you 2 PPR points or he's going to go out there and ball out and score you like 15 if he finds that end zone. So that's the dice roll game you are playing, whether he scores the touchdown or not. So obviously, if you're looking for high ceiling, you start him. If you're looking for a floor, a guy that you think you are confident in, you think will score about 10 points, then sit Duke Johnson on your bench. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Carlos Hyde in this game. Obviously, Carlos Hyde has not been performing all that well. Gus Edwards, obviously, second behind Mark Ingram, and until Mark Ingram dies, I am not throwing Gus Edwards out there into my roster. Next game here is the Falcons at the Florida Panthers. And by Florida Panthers, I mean the Carolina Panthers. The Florida Panthers are a hockey team. Now, I'm going to be starting up Brian Hill in this game against the Carolina Panthers. Now, Brian Hill is going to perform. We saw last week when Devontae Freeman went down, Brian Hill went in there and made the New Orleans Saints defense look like his bitch. Brian Hill clearly has the talent to be a good back, and he clearly has the talent to be a running back too this week against the Carolina Panthers. On the other side of the ball, we got Christian McCaffrey. Now, Christian McCaffrey, I should say. I think I said his name wrong. But runs CMC every week is a locked and loaded starter. To me, I just slot him in as the number one running back every single week. It doesn't matter who else is playing. He is going to perform. Every single week you throw him in there, he's good for like 30 fucking points. It's just crazy. It's unreal. Christian McCaffrey is a fantasy football cheat code. I shouldn't even have had to tell you to start him, but obviously you're just going to start him. It's just so obvious every single week. He's going to go out there and perform, and especially against a Falcons defense that is god awful. Christian McCaffrey should be able to eat this game. Next game here, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now I'm going to be starting Mr. Alvin Kamara. Last week, it was being said that, oh, we're gonna ease Alvin Kamara and we're gonna give Latavius Murray somewhat of the workload. And you know what fucking happened? They gave Alvin Kamara everything and Latavius Murray nothing. So Alvin Kamara is gonna go out there in Tampa Bay with the fucking pirate ship in the crowd. He's going to go out there and eviscerate the Buccaneers defense, all right? It doesn't matter that the run defense is so good because Alvin Kamara is he's pretty much a fucking wide receiver. He is so good in the pass catching game, just like Christian McCaffrey, that it doesn't matter what defense he's playing against. I think Alvin Kamara goes out there and has a certified feast this game against the Buccaneers. Now, Ronald Jones is much more of a dice roll to me. Obviously, the safest of the backs on the Buccaneers. There's Mr. Ronald Jones. There is Peyton Barber and Dare Agabaduge. But with that said, Ronald Jones is clearly the safest one. And I think that I would be willing to start him against the Saints, but it's much more of a dice roll. You're going to be very disappointed if he does not score, but I'm still throwing him out there because I have some confidence in him, and I'm confident in the usage that Bruce Arians has been giving him. Now I'm going to be sitting down Peyton Barber. Like I said, Ronald Jones is clearly the running bike one on that team, so I'm going to sit down Peyton Barber, Dare Agabaduge, and I'm also going to be sitting Latavius Murray. Last week, I believed you could start Latavius Murray. That was completely wrong. Just sit Latavius Murray when Mr. Alvin Kamara is in the game. Next game here, we got the Broncos at the Minnesota Vikings. Now I'm going to be starting up Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin Cook has been a top 5 running back all year. You're obviously going to start him against a terrible Broncos defense. He should be able to have a monster game this week in Minnesota. For the Broncos, though, I am going to be sitting both of their backs in this game, Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman. Now, obviously, Phillip Lindsay is the much much safer option. We saw a couple of weeks ago, it seemed like Royce Freeman was that, and then before they had that bye, they were relying on Phillip Lindsay, obviously with a younger quarterback in Brian Allen. Phillip Lindsay is a safe dump-off option, but I really just don't trust either of them this week against the Vikings defense. It's very hard to roll either of them out when I have such little confidence in which one I think is truly going to get the workload. In my head, it's Phillip Lindsay, so if you have Phillip Lindsay, you may have to start him, but at the end of the day, I would rather let both of them ride the pine this week in Week 11. Next game here, we got the Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. Now, we saw this game a few weeks ago, and we saw what happened. The 49ers almost crumbled at the hands of Mr. Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray, but I think that this game may be a bit similar. I'm going to be starting up Kenyon Drake in this game. Now, he had a feast against the 49ers. We saw that 2 weeks ago, but David Johnson was out. Now, David Johnson seems like he's going to play again, but I have no confidence in David Johnson. David Johnson is just going to fuck you over every single time you start him. Last week, he scored either 0 points or negative points in your league, right? You don't want anything to do with David Johnson. I'm not starting him until I see him go out there and perform, so I'm going to lock in Kenyon Drake probably about a good 10, 11, or 12 points in this game. Now, I'm also going to be starting Tevin Coleman in this game. Tevin Coleman with Matt Breida likely may not be playing. Tevin Coleman should be able to have a feast against this Cardinals defense, unlike he did a few weeks ago when they played the first time. Now, Raheem Mostert, if Breida is out, I would confidently play him as well. Obviously, much more of a flex option, but a guy that could cross that plane and score that touchdown. Now, Matt Breida, if he plays, obviously you're going to play him and not play Raheem Mostert. And like I said, you're definitely going to be sitting Mr. David Johnson. David Johnson is going to fuck your team right where you don't want it to if you play him this week or any week until he is completely healthy. Now I'm going to be starting up in this Patriots at Eagles game, the Super Bowl rematch from a few years ago. I'm going to be starting up James White in this game. Now, James White, the Eagles' run defense is very, very good. Their pass defense is fucking terrible. I could catch 9,000 yards on them, but it doesn't matter because they're run defense. We're talking about running backs. James White is not going to be able to perform through the running game. He is a pass-catching back. If you're in a PPR league, you fire him up. I think he's going to get a lot of work in this game since it's very hard to run the ball on the Eagles. Now, Sony Michel, he's got the start, but he's got the with 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6 H's because it is very hard to start him this week. You are clearly throwing it all on the bank. You're putting it all on red, thinking Sony Michel is going to score that touchdown. If he scores that touchdown, he is clearly worthy of the start. But if he doesn't, you're going to be very, very, very disappointed in Sony Michel this week at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard in this game. It's complicated. The Patriots defense looked terrible against the Ravens. I think this week they had that bye week and then they're going to bounce back here and play good. Now, Miles Sanders is the pass-catching back. If you believe they could score on the Patriots, go ahead and start Miles Jordan Howard. Sanders. I do not like him in this game either. Obviously, he has that chance to get fed the ball in this game, and obviously that would be beneficial of him, but you're also banking on the touchdown for Jordan Howard, and I feel a lot safer banking on that touchdown for Sony Michel than I do for Mr. Jordan Howard. Knock one time if you are with me. Next game here, we got the Bengals at the Oakland Raiders. Now, I'm going to be starting up Joe Mixon in this game. Joe Mixon is a guy that I have no fucking confidence in. You're going to bench him, and he's going to score 20 points. You're going to start him, and he's going to take a shit straight into the middle of your lineup and score you 3 points. But this week, against the Oakland Raiders, I am going to start Joe Mixon. I have zero confidence in it. Like I said, he's got the with 3 H's, but I'm still fucking playing him because you can't. I lost last week because I fucking benched him, and I'm starting him this week against that sorry-ass Oakland Raiders defense. Now, Josh Jacobs, on the other hand, looks like he may be the rookie of the year. He should have been on the freshman list, as Nav would say. Josh Jacobs is going to go in there and eviscerate this garbage Bengals defense. Next game here, we got the Bears at the LA Rams, the Sunday night special. Now, I'm going to be starting up Todd Gurley in this game. Now, Todd Gurley did not get fed last week. He really just did not go out there and perform up to, I would say, anyone's liking. But this week against the Bears, I think they're going to realize they need to run the ball to have success, and I think that Todd Gurley will be the main factor of that. Now, David Montgomery also did not get many opportunities to touch the ball for the Bengals last week. Not the Bengals, I should say the Bears last week. He obviously just was not given that opportunity. He was given the opportunity the last couple of weeks, and then Nagy went and pulled a full idiot move and fucked him over. But this week against the Rams, he's going to realize, he's going to take his head straight out of his ass and realize that David Montgomery is the key to success. Mitch Trubisky is not going to play that good ever again, so David Montgomery is going to get handed the rock over and over and over, and you're going to throw him into your lineup. Now, am I confident in it? No, but you're definitely going to do it because David Montgomery has potential to go for 20 plus points every single game, given he is fed the rock. He's the goal line back for the team. Obviously, Tariq Cohen snagged a touchdown last week that, in my opinion, should have been David Montgomery's. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Tariq Cohen because I have zero confidence in him. I don't know. He's like, they barely use him when they use David Montgomery, so I'm just going to sit him down and hope that this is a David Montgomery game. Now, into the final game of the week, the Monday Night Football matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs at the LA Superchargers, soon to be the London Superchargers. I'm just kidding out there to Chargers fans. If there's even any of you watching, probably not, because there aren't very many fucking Chargers fans. But I'm starting Damian Williams in this matchup. When Pat Mahomes is playing, it seems like Damian Williams is the clear, locked, and loaded running back one for that team. LaShawn McCoy may get his ass cut straight off the team, so I'm sitting him down there. I have no confidence in LaShawn McCoy, and Damian Williams is obviously going to be the benefactor of the fact that LaShawn McCoy is not going to be out there. Melvin Gordon, on the other hand, against the Chiefs, I have a lot of confidence in. It seems like Mr. Anthony Lynn loves Mr. Melvin Gordon, and Melvin Gordon's going to get the opportunity to shine. He's going to get more of the touches than Austin Eckler, but even with that said, when I think Melvin Gordon is going to go balls deep in this Chiefs defense, I think Austin Eckler is going to have the chance to play big, and he's definitely worthy of a flex start. And like I said, you're going to be sitting down LaShawn McCoy, who holds the ball like it's a fucking, like, I don't even know what he holds the ball like. He holds the ball like he doesn't care that he fumbles. He just holds it out there. He says, hey, defense, you want the fucking ball? You can take it, because he's just that dumb. But thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying the video, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. I love each and every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for getting me near 3,000 subscribers. As this video goes out, we may already be at 3,000 subscribers, so it really does mean a lot for me. I love each and every single one of you guys. Like I said, please make sure to go down below and check out overlaydfs.com, link down below in the description, and click that subscribe button. I love each and every single one of you guys. You guys always know that. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, my friends.